Greetings from MRH off MRH Gifty Services. We live in the set getting it done. Mitigations and litigations of the child support case in parentage filed against Michael R. Henry. Judgment and the diagnosis. Here represented their program. Our first order is rule of established pre-law and pre-medicine in our private practice for the concern of parental planning. We received this award around 84-85, right after Mount St. Helens had erupted. Ashes and debris covered Washington, Oregon, California. Looked like it was headed to Mexico. In that happening, being the real thing, as far as that's concerned, we went on to graduate from Olympia View Elementary in Federal, Washington, our 6th grade year. The events of our 6th grade year was Tiananmen Square Massacre, Beijing, Alaska oil spill, the Berlin Wall fell, Cold War, California earthquake, Cali, Hurricane Hugo, Miami, Florida. All these events took place my 6th grade year, March, April, September, October, November. Alpha initially spelled out Mason. Omega initially spelled out Healer, sounded out HLRRR. We address these issues concerning this in child support and parentage, as that is child support. And that's exactly what MRH is, in that economic stimulus of economy, social class, even down to the gentrification of having understanding of what has to take place during those policies that are set in order in the Alpha Omega concern, or in the Angel Investor, or the Halo. Now, we address these issues from 6th grade, going into 9th grade. Now, 9th grade is our true freshman year. So we have 2 years to get right before our 9th grade year, 7th and 8th. We address all those issues. We put those issues into date as Mason and Healer. Those are worldwide, monumental fixtures of today's societal game and awareness, to have stability and to move even in the political realm, or in your social class and awareness, or as we very well know, the angel investor in the spirit are moving the halo. So we address this matter from 6th to 9th grade. We stayed true freshmen undefeated and established that and stayed true freshmen undefeated out of 6 and 9, Biblical Concordance, Bible Beast, the number 6, and those events being too many beasts to really deal with. So we stayed true freshmen undefeated out of them. During that process, I was averaging 4 touchdowns a game, over 280 yards, broke the rushing records, and was able to conducively put the number 6, as every time I scored a touchdown, into its end zone. So that became a hereditary genetic trait that continued on. So we established that 6 and 9, 6th grade and 9th grade. Stayed true freshman out of it. Put 4 touchdowns a game into its end zone, which is the number 6, and ended the number of the beast in a zone. Making things happen, making things work. Now, we move on to class of 96, our graduate year. In class of 96, our graduate year, we had the Olympic Games. So as the Olympic Games happened in 1996, I went ahead and expelled McKinley, RAINIER, HELENS, my initials, Michael R. Henry, Alpha initially, for a conjunction confirmation that would coincide and be coherent to the events of 6th grade being over with and done. how we dealt with them from 6 to 9. Now we had year 96 in our class to deal with. So I expelled McKinley, Rainier, Helens, made the conjunction point, made it real, confirmed it, and got it expelled. This is an Olympic year. So this year the Olympics was held in Atlanta, Georgia, and we had volcanoes expelled, which is the root of all pollution, ashes and debris, and oxygen. We had those completely expelled and brought fresh oxygen. I was a blue chip All-American football player, wide receiver, balling at F-Dub, 12th grade. Got those expelled. We had the Olympics that summer and handled fresh oxygen every summer since and every summer before throughout each of those events. That's all from staying true freshman undefeated out of 6 and 9, and then having to get into the rhetorical of class of 96. So we made it happen. It's all true. You can look it up. It's documented. It's there. So we like to address this, of course, as pre-law, pre-med, and all its interests, our independent study, and how we handled things of that nature. Now, again, we have the parental planning and the child support to address. That is child support in its first function and basis as a need. For most people, it's just a good place to start. But we had a chance to get into more of the rhetorical questions and find confirmation throughout the concern. As it became an evolution, we became child support rather than being filed for it. So none of these things were known. It was in the invisible serum, in the unknown realms, as I was handling these things, managing these things, keeping these things private for private patient care in its own concern. What you'll find out is it's true. And as it is true, I held on to those things dearly. Anyone and everyone I came in contact with, it became private patient care if that was the need. So when the child support came up, I am child support. I already was that. We're just addressing it now because it went through mitigations and litigations and came back on my person as a judgment for money and also a diagnosis. So we're addressing those issues as the precursor to abolishing that. That's out of the way. MRH and disclosure is a no fault, no debt, no guilt, no injury, no judgment, entity, company, and person. So we have to address those things outrightly. And in that, we have to look like, you gotta look tight, you gotta have your game tight. This is the real deal. So I'm my own defense in those. We do have the first page of the parenting file against me for child support. It states no attorney fees and no service fees. I'm MRH of MRH Gifting Services. I'm charging a fee. I am my own attorney in my own defense. I studied pre-law and pre-med. I'm charging a fee. We want our fees to be set at $800 million. We want a tax refund for it. Here we have the original documentation of it. If you can see it, you might have to look it up close. Hopefully you can see it clear, but at the bottom it states no attorney fees and no service fees. I am MRH of MRH Gifting Services. I am implementing a service fee. I am my own attorney in my own defense through the litigations and mitigation process. I am charging $800 million deemed unlimited to have this be put at ease. So it is out of my life in that concern. I have addressed the mother and the child. She is no longer able to bear my children in this matter, putting my name through defamation of character for child support. You can look me up on Facebook. You can find all my records, my awards, and my accolades. You can see my services from earthquakes, from world events and disasters, just learning going through school, having to deal with each particular of the matter, and learning how to deal with it in a good biblical sense. So we like to thank you for viewing today. I'm MRH of MRH Gifting Services. We are concluding the child support segment. The mother will no longer be able to have my child or my children or bear my children because of the things that were said according to my own person. So we're putting those things at ease also. And now we're moving into the next segment of MRH Gifting Services, which is entertainment, kicking it, having a good time. But we had addressed the litigations and the mitigations of what was going on, what was being said about my person behind my back. We'd like to thank you for viewing today. I'm MRH of MRH Gifting Services. Written, authored, owned, arranged by Michael R. Henry.